Okay, well, here we go. I've been planning on doing this all day, and I put it off for too long. I need to put all these beads away. And I'd like to show those bead fanatics or art people out there just what I ended up with after I sorted through most of this stuff. This is just kind of the large, awkward plastic bead box right here. You're not going to believe some of the shit I found. It's just crazy. So costume jewelry, I bought this at a garage sale, all this shit for it was like 40 pounds of stuff for like 40 bucks. I just carried it all home. I could barely carry it. It was heavy. And I thought it was just going to be a lot of junk beads and crappy materials, which it is, kind of. But at the same time, there was a lot of good stuff in there. And better plug my phone in here because it's dying. There we go. So down here, inside these beads, you can kind of get an idea of what's in here. There's wood, there's glass. It's mostly plastic and glass, and a lot of crystals. Every single handful is just loaded with little metal pieces. The person who owned this had created some stuff, but it just looked like more or less she just collected beads and never really made a whole lot out of them because they're endless. And that was just the crappy bucket here. And as I move on to here, I still have many of these to go through. Let me get up close there so you can kind of see what's going on. Lots of little pieces of metal, lots of different chains and pendants and whatnot. So what I'm doing is, this is going to take me a long time. I'm going to have to go through this and sort them by color first. I'm going to pay the kids to do that. Sort them by color, and afterwards I can go through and further refine them down into their groups. This, for example, like this thing is just full of magnetic metal. That's it. There's probably some kinds of trinkets in there. This thing is just packed full of random chains. Same thing with this box right here. You can see when you get down in there, I mean, there's crystals, there's pieces of glass. I mean, but these aren't even the cool ones. That's the thing. Now we start moving over here. I'm going to do the jewels last, I guess. So, like for over here, for example, all these fake pearls, and some of them are nice and heavy, so they're, they're at least quality materials. And some what I think might be real gold, but we're not sure. A lot of these things in jars. I mean, I don't even know. I can't even really go through all this stuff as far as filming it. This is all earrings, clip-on earrings, a ton of them. This is a bag of watches and pieces, things that didn't quite fit anywhere else as far as the bead work. We've got a whole bunch of onyx beads, or they could be glass. It doesn't really matter. A big cup full of random metal pieces like the ones I was showing you, and I'm trying to separate them. And then these are all bracelets. Almost every single one of them is broken in some way, shape, or form. So there's a hell of a lot of repair work to do to make those useful. This is basically a broken jewelry collection. And if you can repair them, then you can make some pretty cool stuff. These are beads I've separated by color so far. I really love these vintage beads. The vintage plastic beads. I've got the green, the red, some unique ones over here. Got the blue ones in here, and then some of those pink chips. Couple of random things of stuff. This right here is my pride and joy, is my glass beads collection, glass and stone. So as I sort through, I pick the very best beads, like lampwork beads, or, unique painted beads, things like that, and I put them in here. And there's some really amazing glass beads in here. This thing is freaking sick. I just love this. It's got some of that, what is it, Deco? I can't even remember what it's called. We put that in glass pipes too. A lot of them are sparkly, and it's very, very hard to identify the age of, beads like this, because you know, they are period pieces, some of these things, but when they're all broken up, you can't see what a bracelet looked like. I'm very excited to use these glass beads. That's my favorite. A bunch more plastic ones, a whole bunch of little metal things here, different, you know, centerpieces. Some bracelet pieces with stone and shells in them that I'm working on. This right here is vintage buttons. These are all glass buttons. Dude, they are sick. I mean, these are like the coolest freaking buttons I've ever seen in my life. And you can see like this one's carnelian. That's stone. It's really cool. And then right here is a whole thing of just random resin and various plastic pieces. All kinds of things. Pieces of earrings and everything you can imagine. So that's, you know, with all that shit I've already shown you, that would already be crazy. But then we get into my favorite part, my personal favorite part. Just so I don't forget, there's a whole bag of these like Swarovski crystals. All different types and sizes right here. Then there's another one of these other crystals. Then there's a whole bag of mixed crystals and glass. I mean, when I say crystal, it's not always quartz crystal. Then we get down to this crazy stuff right here, dude. And I mean, this is insane. I've separated everything, all the glitters, as they say. I've taken all the glitters and I've moved it to this one table to try to isolate all the shiny stuff because I don't know what else to do. There's just so much. So, for example, this right here, like, what is that? That's so cool. Just simple little pieces that used to go on things. That looks like it was an earring at one time. You can see there was a post. So you could easily solder an earring back on there, or another post. But anyhow, all these in here, look at all those cool crystals in there. And this over here has a whole bunch of little crystals. Dude, these little containers right here that the crystals are in, where it says like Hudson Vitamin Products, a trusted name in vitamins. I saw those for like $5 each. I mean, so it's like every little thing that's old is always worth money. But to me, it's more than that. It's the novelty. I love it. I love being able to use something that someone handmade, even if it's something old like this, for example. This little piece. There's guaranteed to be another one of these in there somewhere. Each of these stones were faceted by hand. And they were mounted in this. And, you know, that kind of stuff just goes on, you know. So anyhow, I'm excited, as you can tell. So back here, I've got a bunch of the more generic stuff. A whole bunch of different pins and brooches, things like that. And then there's little pieces of stuff like this, which was a bracelet probably, or actually a necklace, it looks like. And it's all in pieces because it broke. All kinds of little pins that are broken, that need help. I think it'd be great to go through and discuss each piece, but it's impossible. There's so many. All of these chains of rhinestones, whole crap load of them, and they're probably all fake. This one, though, on the other hand, is gorgeous. I really love this, and it looks like it's really well built, too. The mounting in it and everything. Even the end part of the clasp has little jewels on it. And I would say that that's aquamarine, but it could just be glass, and I really don't know. It's hard to know because, like, things like this, these are obviously rhinestone earrings, okay? Rarely find a pair like this, in this collection anyway. And they're made by a company called Weiss. So if you look up Weiss, you can see if there's a print on the back and they're signed, you can look them up. I found earrings like this going for $30 to $40 a pair. Just rhinestone vintage earrings. I mean, that right there could maybe pay for this, but the thing is, I'm not set up to sell stuff. I don't do Etsy and all that, and I haven't done PayPal and eBay forever, so I might just have to set something up again. These are pretty cute. Avon, little grapes. Avon. But let's see, what else have we got here? We've got some pretty cool... Well, that looks like it's a centerpiece. Yeah, I didn't realize that was a pendant. That's cool. Or an earring. I mean, that's the thing. Old ladies like wear crazy earrings that I would never wear. Take this bead. Well, I'm a guy, but I do wear earrings. This, for example. This is different colored stones and glass. I mean, it's just so damn cool. It really is. Yeah, I had to pause for a minute there. So as we go in further, you realize what I'm in for here and what the problem is. You have things like this, which are missing stones. Those stones are likely somewhere in here, or something similar to it, but I'd have to figure that out. Take these, for example. Finding a pair of earrings that works. These are awesome. They look like obviously synthetic opal. I can tell they're not real opal, but they look like fire opal. It's hard to tell the difference, but the opal part's at the bottom. Since it's not inclusive, it's probably glass. Then they have these little rhinestones on them as well, and these are both clip-on earrings. I don't know what brand these are. I haven't looked them up or anything, and it's very hard to identify. But they're really cool. I like them. Then there's single clip-ons, things like this. If I had the other one of these, I could do something with it. And I guess that's the problem, is just having... So I got this magnifying glass so you could see where I'm coming from with this bead. Isn't that awesome? And all these little collar beads. Now look, I've been doing beadwork since I was like 16. I'd go to dead shows and I'd bead there. I've been obsessed with beads, and I've never been able to afford to buy really good ones. So even though this may look like a junk pile to some people, I can see potential here. I'd really like to learn how to do soldering. So I can take something like this, which is pretty much worthless at the moment, and you can tell that it used to have a little thing on here, which was probably a clip. So I have to do some soldering, but I could repair a ton of these clip-on earrings that all have that. So right here at the very end, these are some of the little special gems. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I really like these. This one. This was an earring. And it's got that really cool like iridescent stone on it with the shell design on it. You can tell this is quite old, but it's very cool. Then I'm going to go through some of these. And my camera is almost out, or my phone's almost out of battery, so I'm just going to go through these real quick. Each one of these is like a little pendant. Zoom out a little bit. Things like this, I don't even know what it is. I mean, it looks like a piece of wood, see? And then it's got a little red thing on it. It's just crazy, the little things you find in here. Yep, don't want my phone to die, so I'm going to flip through the rest of these pendants. It's a little arrow earring, a very sparkly N. And then towards the end here, this is where all the little trinkets are. Like, look at that one in the center there with the red stone. That's cool. Somebody had to set that, and every one of those little stones. This glass bead in the center is freaking awesome. I love it. A whole bunch of different little pendants, as you can see. Many different types. Every one of them is some sort of a gem in it. There's a lot of strange things in here that I don't know what they are or where they come from or where they go, but honestly, this will keep me occupied for years. So, thanks for coming along, and I'm sure there's somebody out there who will see this down the line and go, oh my God, you scored. And others who will look at this and say, I wouldn't want that junk in my house. And I can totally understand both points of view. I think it's not about wearing it. It's not about selling it. It's not about the profits or anything like that, because this is mostly junk. It's about the time that's put into this. It's like when you buy a carved stick. It might not be much. A lot of vintage stuff people put a lot of work into. And this was before the modern slave labor where basically everything's built cheaply. People actually put the time into it. So when you see rhinestones, you might think that they're garbage, and you might think that a lot of this stuff is worthless, and a lot of it is. But even little brooches and stuff can still sell for 10, 20 bucks online. And little things like this, like this gold-filled locket that was in there. I mean, that by itself, I looked them up and I saw one for like 40 bucks. So I'm like, okay, so still got the little print in it and everything. I'm like, that is the price I paid for all these beads. It's pretty amazing. Oh, look what I found. See? What was I saying? I found a pair. Now I just got to get the little backs on them again, right? Well, weird. That one's all broken up. Yep, lots of junky products, but lots of cool stuff too. So, that's what I got. And there's my crazy haul of goods. And I hope you enjoyed coming along with me and looking at them. Now I get to put them all away. Woot woot! Peace out.